Hey guys, what's up? It's Lisa from 7 Spice Life, and I know it's not 2 a.m. in New York City. We're not schwasty, but guess what? I have a hankering for some halal cart street food, and I want to make it for you and show you how easy, inexpensive, and quick it is to make, while also slightly making it a healthier-ish version. So let's get started. For this recipe, you're gonna need 2 or 4 chicken breasts. You can just double up the recipe. Here we're making 2, and I've laid them out to dry. We've got romaine instead of iceberg. We have a tomato, a lemon, some yogurt, some sriracha, and then some white rice. I have a cup here. It's been rinsed and drained. And then spices. You're gonna need quite a few spices because you're putting some on the chicken and then some in the rice and some in your white sauce. But it's super quick. You guys are gonna have dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. Are you ready? The countdown begins right now. I'm gonna say it again, stop washing your damn chicken. I have said that so many times in all my recipes. You just spread bacteria around and you're not doing anything. You're just creating extra steps for yourself. Pat it dry with some paper towels and get to work. I've gone ahead and covered it with some plastic wrap, and we're gonna let out some frustration right now. Let's go. You don't want to pound them out till they're paper thin. You just want to get them about 1/2 inch thick. Woo, I'm getting my arm workout in. Tells you how often I go to the gym. Okay, we're done. Okay, so we've pounded out our chicken, and now we are going to season it and set it aside. I've preheated the oven to 350. Guess what? Under here, I put a silicone baking mat to prevent this from slipping. So we're gonna place that on our baking sheet. And then I'm just going to flip these because we're gonna flip them over in a second. So I'm just gonna drizzle some olive oil on them, and it's about 1 teaspoon. And our spices. I have my very own special Iraqi chicken rub, and I'm not quite ready to share the recipe yet. I'm still fine-tuning it. But if you don't have an Iraqi chicken rub, which you can find at Middle Eastern stores, you can just sprinkle this with a little bit of sumac, ginger, curry, coriander, cumin, and garlic. So I'm not going to give you measurements because you just want to evenly coat everything with a little bit of all of those things. So I am going to coat this. And I'm not going to forget salt and pepper. So we're going to add some salt. And I'm using sea salt here, some pepper. And I have my tongs, and I'm doubling them up, and I'm using the flat side of it to smear the chicken with the rub and get the oil all over. And then I'm going to flip them and repeat this process. Another tiny drizzle of olive oil. Get some salt and pepper. I'm evenly coating them. I'm not scared to season them. It's a really fine drizzle that's coming out of here, so I'm not overdoing it. And trust me, you don't need to add spice to this. It's going to be plenty spicy with the red sauce. And my chicken rub. And I'm being generous with this, so when you season, don't be afraid to be generous. It's chicken breast. We're trying to make it not so boring. I know it's healthy, but God, is it boring. Sometimes I'm just like, I can't handle any more chicken breast. And this recipe makes it so much more interesting and full of flavor. So you're going to dig it. I dig it if you dig it. These are now marinating because they have the seasoning on them. And I'm gonna let them come to room temperature. By the time I'm done with getting my rice ready, they're gonna go in the oven. And they go in at 350 for about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna turn the broiler on and just crisp the tops up. It takes no time at all. Guess what? This meal can also be vegan or vegetarian. It can be vegan if you leave off the white sauce, and it can be vegan or vegetarian if you replace the chicken for cauliflower and make it the same exact way. I'm gonna add chicken broth to the rice. You can add veggie broth. So this can totally be vegan and satisfy anybody. All right, let's go make some rice. While the oven is preheating, which it almost is ready, as soon as it's ready, I'm gonna pop my chicken in. I'm putting, oh, there it is. So in goes my chicken. And I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes. Flame is on medium. I'm gonna add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of olive oil. I'm gonna toast my rice first, and here it is. And I'm gonna add 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice. You can add 2 cups of water, or you can add 1 cup of broth and 1 cup of water. I want it really flavorful. I love yellow rice. It's like the best part of this dish. So I'm gonna add a full 2 cups of low sodium chicken broth. And I always buy free range chicken broth. Hot tip, whenever you buy chicken broth in this carton that's 32 ounces or a quart, it's 4 cups of liquid. I have with me coriander, turmeric, cumin, and garlic. You can put a fresh clove of garlic, but we're not going to do that because this is a quick meal. Now, I'm gonna toast my rice, and you can hear it kind of sizzling. I don't want it to get golden. I just want to smell the nuttiness of the rice, and then I can immediately start seasoning it and then moving along. I was in a Food Network show called Cooks vs. Cons, woohoo! And I'll never forget Chef Jackson telling me that I didn't cook off my spices. I was like, how could I forget such an amateur move? But in Middle Eastern cooking, they don't really cook off their spices unless, I don't know, maybe gourmet chefs do. But I had never learned that as a kid, and I never see any of the nanas doing it either. But ever since then, I toast all my spices all the time because it cooks off that like raw spice flavor. I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt. And this is just a pinch. It's about 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric. Whoop. Don't overdo it, because turmeric can have a really weird flavor if you overdo it. Another pinch of coriander, cumin. Cumin, I'm doing like a tiny pinch. If you want to be technical, it's like 1/16 of an inch. And about 1/4 teaspoon or less of garlic powder. If you really love garlic, go for it, but I just want to get a hint of it. I don't need a ton. All right, so now I'm toasting it. And you can see how beautiful the color is on that. It just needs a second. I can already smell the garlic and the cumin and coriander. It smells delicious. Now it's ready for some broth. Ooh. That's awesome. I'm gonna let it come to a gentle boil, and then I'm gonna turn it down, cover it, and simmer it for about as long as the chicken takes to cook. Okay, rice is cooking. It smells so good. Chicken is cooking. I have about 10 minutes left, and I'm gonna make my white sauce and cut up my shredded tomatoes. I'm using non-fat yogurt. You can use full-fat yogurt, that's fine. I have nothing against full-fat yogurt. In fact, I think it's really good for you. Just on the daily, I use non-fat. Oops. I'm using the juice of half a lemon. These lemons are from a tree from my neighbor. I get to pick them whenever I want, and I super appreciate that, but they're super juicy. They're making my mouth water right now. Half a lemon. I'm gonna stir that in, and this is as close to I get to the Halal Cart white sauce without it being bad for you. Krisha, this is for you, and I promise it is so delicious. And we're gonna thin it out with 1/4 cup of water. So 1 cup of yogurt, half a lemon, or about 2 tablespoons. And I'm gonna start with half of the 1/4 cup of water because I want to control how thin it is. And you can make it as thin or not as you want. And alternatively, you can pour all the spices, all the liquids in here and make adjustments where you need to after. I'm just showing you how to do this step by step. It's still kind of thick, so I'll be fine by pouring in the rest of this. The consistency is perfect, and I'm going to add my spices now. I'm just adding the tiniest pinch of turmeric just to give it a pale yellow color. And I'm talking like 1/16 of a teaspoon. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Pepper. And you know, turmeric's health qualities only work if you add pepper to them. A little bit of salt. A pinch of cardamom. Again, just like a tiny, tiny pinch. Some garlic powder. Again, just a pinch. 1/8 of a teaspoon of coriander. About a 1/4 teaspoon of sumac. Or less, I love it, so I'm doing a 1/4 of a teaspoon. Stir it all up. I know I said Chef Jackson taught me to toast my spices. This recipe specifically calls for the aromatics and the lemony flavor. They're going to all develop when they sit in the yogurt, so while I'm getting everything else ready, this can sit in the fridge. Let's taste it. It's absolutely perfect. It doesn't need a single thing. So I'm gonna put it in the fridge just like this. If you're not gonna use it for a while, cover it with some plastic wrap. Okay, that bell for the timer hasn't rung yet. I'm going to shred up my washed and dried lettuce. My timer should be going off any minute, and that's okay because then I'm gonna turn the broiler on for like 3 minutes and crisp up the top of my chicken. So we're gonna shred our lettuce, and I'm gonna tightly kind of bunch up all the lettuce here and making sure to tuck my knuckles in. I'm just gonna keep the blade really close as I rock back and forth to make shreddis, which is really, really thin shredded lettuce. Use a sharp knife and make sure your cutting board does not wiggle around everywhere. Did you hear that? That's my chicken timer. I'm going to broil it just for 3 minutes and you'll see the results when we're done. Okay, just checked my chicken. Timer went off. Broiler's on for 3 to 5 minutes. Don't burn your house down. You gotta watch it carefully. I set a timer because I do not trust myself around a broiler. Last part of this is chopping up our tomato. You can chop it up however you want. I like it diced, so I am going to slice it up and then dice it up. The tomatoes are chopped. I'm gonna scoop my lettuce off to the side and we're gonna throw them right next to the lettuce. We're ready to go. All our food's done and everything should be cooked and ready to eat and devour and enjoy and savor. As you can see, the chicken's been pulled out of the oven. It looks gorgeous. And it's gonna rest for like 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes before I'm ready to serve it. And my rice is gorgeous. I'm just gonna fluff my rice. It looks so beautiful. I just wanna give this a taste. So, so good. Ooh, that's hot. I just barely lost my light, but that's okay. We are done cooking and I am going to cut this chicken out. Put a nice, beautiful helping of this gorgeous, fluffy golden rice on my plate. And some of this chicken. It looks so delicious. I can't wait to dive in. And it looks like the chicken maintained its juiciness, which I'm really happy about because chicken breast can dry up and get really boring and like you're eating cardboard really quick. But this is so flavorful and so delicious. I don't think we're gonna have that problem. All right, and if you've ever worked in a Middle Eastern kitchen, you know all your towels are stained with this beautiful golden tea stain. We'll just say it's intentional of turmeric, but that's okay. I'm fine with it if you are. And a nice helping of shreddis, which I love a lot of extra lettuce, and some tomatoes. And yes, I'm using my hands because I'm digging into this myself when I'm done. And if you want, you can always add an extra dose of acid to your dish by putting a nice chunk of lemon in there, which I love. And we are ready for our beautiful, delicious white sauce. I drizzle it right on my bowl. You can also put some on the side if you want. That's not a bad idea because I always end up wanting more than I put on my plate. And some sriracha, or you can make your own like Zug style red sauce or Calabrian chilies with some cumin and coriander. But this is the easy way to get your halal style street cart food done and ready in like 30 minutes or less. I know you guys are gonna love this recipe, and I'm gonna dig in if you don't mind. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, get the word out. I love cooking and I love teaching you how to make delicious, healthy-ish, on the spectrum of healthy dishes that are ready on your table in about 30 minutes or less. So good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.